Okay, bear with me here. Christina didn't win the Harper Avery, and honestly, she knew why. Let's rewind to season 6, when Harper Avery himself strolled into SGMH. Christina, being Christina, doesn't hold back and practically tells him to his face that he's misdiagnosed. Bold move, right? And of course, she knows this is going to impact her future nomination, because why wouldn't it? Fast forward to season 10 and surprise, he's still alive. So yeah, she was on to something, but don't worry, she definitely knew it all along. Now, before anyone comes at me with pitchforks, let me clarify. I posted this for fun because, frankly, there's no one around here I can talk to about this wild theory. So chill. But hold up, someone's a little confused by this theory. Listen, I get it. It's not that complicated. The show made it super clear. Catherine literally tells Richard that Christina didn't win because, well, the Harper Avery Foundation owns the hospital. If they gave one of their own doctors the award, it would have been a huge conflict of interest. So no, it wasn't about Harper Avery's first impression of Christina. It was all about optics. And honestly, I highly doubt Harper Avery even remembered the incident by that point. She was just another face in the crowd to him. But hey, I'm not saying it's a crazy theory. It's just not the theory. Unpopular opinion time. My absolute disdain for Jolex? Yeah, I'm blaming that on Camilla's acting. I've been racking my brain, trying to figure out why I can't get into Jolex, and guess what? It's her. Jo Wilson just isn't believable. She sounds whiny in every scene. And don't even get me started on her moments with Alex. They're cringy, cheesy. I really wanted to like Jolex because Alex is great, but Jo ruined it. I mean, sure, Alex was a total jerk to Izzy, and their relationship wasn't perfect, but you know what? I bought it. They had chemistry, and their season 2 slow burn dating arc was everything. Katherine Heigl elevated Justin Chambers' performance, and honestly, that made all the difference. Now, let's talk about why Jolex just didn't work. First off, the acting. We've got Justin Chambers, who's always great, but he needed someone to match him. When he shared scenes with powerhouse actresses like Katherine Heigl, Sandra Oh, Kate Walsh, or Chandler Wilson, he rose to the occasion. But with Camilla Luddington? I hate to say it, but she just didn't pull her weight. It's not that she's not a lovely person. It's just that her acting is, well, let's say not on the same level as the show's heavy hitters. Honestly, she dragged Justin Chambers down. Then there's the whole tell, don't show problem. Jolex felt like it was being shoved down our throats. We didn't get to see the nuances of their relationship. We just had to hear, over and over again, how perfect they were. Meanwhile, the acting couldn't back it up. The show went full throttle on Meredith trashing Izzy, Ava, Lucy, and even Lexi, all to prop up Jolex. There was no subtlety. Instead of letting us feel their connection, the show made Alex declare, "I'm gonna marry that girl," not even 10 minutes after they started dating. Talk about a forced plotline. And then, of course, there's the fact that Jolex became a bit too similar. I'm all for shared experiences, but the show took it to an absurd level. Jo's entire backstory seemed to exist solely to mirror Alex's. She had anger issues? Check. Abusive childhood? Oh, you bet. Been married before? Yup. Foster care? Of course. Had to steal to survive? No surprise there. It felt like they were just checking off boxes to make her exactly like Alex. It was so forced that it made me cringe. Honestly, Camilla's acting might have been better suited to the rich princess persona Alex initially thought Jo was. Because, in my opinion, that would have been a much easier role for her to pull off. And don't even get me started on how they crammed so much trauma into Jo's backstory. It didn't serve her character. It only exposed how weakly she was written to begin with. Look, I don't mean to bash Camilla as a person. I'm sure she's lovely. But when it comes to Grace, her acting is just awful. Everything she does is so painfully obvious. The crying? Yeah, I'm not buying it. The way she bites into a burger? Don't even. It's like they told her, now bite into the burger and smile. And she did it with all the grace of a robot. Just bite the burger like a normal person, okay? I'm totally with you on this. Camilla seems nice, but Joe's character just wasn't strong enough to handle all the trauma they threw at her. And yeah, Jolex, communication was clearly not their strong suit. Seriously, how many times did they break up before they even made it to the altar? Grey's Anatomy really needs to hit the reset button if it ever hopes to be interesting again. With the announcement of Season 22, I couldn't help but notice just how many recycled plots and filler storylines there are, especially for the older characters. Honestly, at this point, I don't care what happens to Meredith, Bailey, Richard, or Owen. They've been dragged through so many absurd scenarios that nothing feels like it will actually have any lasting consequences. It's all just noise at this point. Here's an idea. Fast forward to Zola's intern year at a new hospital. That way, it still makes sense for the show to be called Grey's Anatomy. They've been desperately trying to make us care about this new crop of interns, but let's face it, no one's buying it. Sure, Yasuda was decent, but she's gone. Giving the show a near-complete overhaul could be the best shot at making it relevant again. Thoughts? And honestly, if Grey's Anatomy were to end, which, let's be real, it should have done when Alex left, I think it would be a perfect opportunity for Shonda Rhimes to resurrect that Boston spin-off she was planning years ago. Here's why. Most of the characters have already moved to Boston to start fresh. Well, except for Owen, Bailey, Teddy, the Chief, and Joe. So technically that storyline has already been set up. It would also give us the chance to bring back some of the fan-favorite characters like Christina, Alex, Izzy, Callie, and others, except, the ones who actually left or died. Plus, Meredith is supposed to be testing on female mice to find a cure for Alzheimer's. Who else would she call for help if not the best team she knows? This way, we can finally focus on Meredith's new life without having to flip back and forth between hospitals. And hey, April and Avery could finally restart their story, seeing as they essentially own the place. Honestly though, they should just end the show already. It should have wrapped up after Alex left, because let's be real, nothing since then has been remotely interesting. Arizona's treatment of Mark during Callie's pregnancy really grated on my nerves. Callie, to her credit, didn't exactly mistreat him, but she sure didn't help the situation either. And Arizona? She just bulldozed right over him like he wasn't the father, an incredibly involved one at that. It's as if her being Callie's girlfriend and soon-to-be stepmom meant she had more say than Mark, which is so frustrating. I get it, they all get along eventually, but the way Arizona treated him, just because he was himself, was infuriating. And Callie just let it happen. For context, if you're not up to Season 7 yet, spoilers ahead. So I'm rewatching Grey's Anatomy and just hit Season 7, Episode 18. Arizona's jealousy is out of control. She nearly gets Callie and their baby killed because she's so focused on her feelings about Mark. While they're trying to decide what's best for Callie, she brings up her jealousy of Mark again and, get this, calls him a sperm donor. Seriously? She's in a relationship with Callie, and suddenly she has the audacity to pretend like she should have more say than the actual father. Mark wants to save Callie because, well, she's the love of his life and another baby can be made. Callie's life is not replaceable. Arizona, meanwhile, is more concerned about her baby than the person she just proposed to. It's like she doesn't even care that Mark is in this in the most meaningful way possible. The way Arizona downplays Mark's role as Sophia's father, it's beyond frustrating. To her, he's just a sperm donor. But why would she even want that? A random sperm donor who has zero involvement, or a man who's actively invested in his daughter's life, living across the street, and loves both Callie and Sophia. If anyone should be jealous, it should be Arizona's insecurities, not Mark's role in their family. Here's the thing. Mark has always been clear. He loves Callie, and he cares about Sophia deeply. He's a solid father figure, and he would have been a great co-parent to Callie. Arizona, on the other hand, inserted herself into their lives by refusing to just let Callie be. Honestly, she should have just gone to Africa and done her thing while Callie and Mark handled parenting. Arizona didn't even want kids to begin with, but suddenly she's the one trying to take control over Sophia's life. When Callie tries to have a night away, Arizona freaks out, stalks her down, and tries to force her hand. I just can't stand how she handled things. But honestly, Arizona's real issue here is that she was furious, not just that Callie slept with Mark again. And yes, I'm sure her homophobia about Callie being bisexual played into that. But also that such a huge decision was made without her input. In her mind, she should have been the one calling the shots. She was jealous and scared, probably worried that Callie would leave her behind and raise a family with Mark and Sophia. Again, none of this makes her behavior okay, but I do think that's where her anger was coming from. I can't exactly blame him. Honestly, I won't. He was actually against the idea of an open marriage in the first place, but here we are. Teddy wants to open up their relationship to hook up with other people, but when Owen actually goes through with it, suddenly it's a problem. She's mad at him because he did what they agreed on, but she couldn't. Classic move. Look, Owen is a walking disaster at times, self-sabotaging, greedy, and frankly, a bit much. But this time, this one's not on him. For the first time ever, I find myself on Team Owen. I never thought I'd say that, but here we are. Realistically, neither of them is entirely in the wrong. Owen followed the ground rules they'd both agreed to. Teddy's allowed to have regrets, though. I mean, opening the marriage that quickly, it was almost like they were just waiting for things to explode. And now, surprise, surprise, here we are. At this point, I'm just waiting to see if they're going to try to fix things, or if this is the moment the whole Teddy and Owen saga crashes and burns. Teddy's clearly stuck on the fact that Owen didn't waste any time jumping into bed with someone else. And if she finds out who that someone is, oh, it's going to be a fight. I mean, Owen had a flirtation with her before they even agreed to open things up. So yeah, there's definitely some drama brewing. Teddy really had the nerve. She's over here complaining that Owen did exactly what they agreed to, and then, in a stunning display of hypocrisy, asks who was it that slept with someone else. Hello? Wasn't she the one who slept with someone else when they were engaged? Oh, and let's not forget that little slip-up on their wedding day when they definitely weren't in an open relationship. But sure, go ahead and get mad at Owen for doing what they both signed up for. I don't even like Owen, but let's be real, he's blameless here. They agreed to an open marriage, so what exactly was she expecting? Honestly, at this point, both of them have cheated so many times and had so many emotional affairs that expecting either of them to be faithful is just laughable. Why didn't Arizona ever join the military? I mean, she grew up in a military family. Her father was a Marine, her brother enlisted in the Army, and her decision to become a doctor. It was because her brother died from lack of field surgeons. Oh, and did I mention she's named after a battleship? You'd think she'd be first in line to sign up. But nope, not exactly a join the army type. It's not like she's anti-military. She even congratulated George for enlisting, or at least told Callie she thought it was wonderful of George to join. She's supportive, but when it comes to her own service, crickets. So why didn't she enlist? Did I miss something? Or did she, and it just slipped under my radar? I have a theory. Don't ask, don't tell. Arizona was a fully out lesbian in a time when the military didn't exactly celebrate diversity. Her brother died for his country, and all she got was a flag. No, thank you. She respected the service and loved those who had served. She was all about honoring the fallen, but there were just too many reasons why the military wasn't her path. For one, she wasn't about to hide who she was. Why follow a career that required you to pretend to be someone else? And let's be real, just because you're proud of your family doesn't mean you have to walk in their footsteps. Arizona didn't need to serve to prove her patriotism. Mark's death was hands down the saddest. Seriously, they really took their sweet time with it, didn't they? They dragged out every single memory, every piece of footage until I was a complete mess. And then, just to top it off, they end the episode with that massive, gut-wrenching smile fading out. That's downright cruel. Mark's my favorite character, so when he died, I completely lost it. I was sobbing like a toddler, and honestly, I can't even bring myself to rewatch it. I just stick to the seasons before that, pretending he's still around because my heart can't take it. And don't even get me started on Mark and Lexi both being gone one after the other. It was too much. But honestly, Danny's death, that one really hit me. Just thinking about how he must have known he was dying, and that he was going through it all alone. Man, I couldn't handle it. So I just watched the episode where the hospital gets hacked, and of course, Bailey, being the chief at the time, has to step in and figure out how to handle the situation. Because, clearly, the chief of surgery should be the one calling all the shots when the hospital's in chaos. Never mind the fact that there are a bunch of other departments in that place that have absolutely nothing to do with surgery. But hey, why not let the surgeon take the reins when things go south, right? Here's the thing though, why is the chief of surgery suddenly in charge of everything? I mean, shouldn't the responsibility of keeping the whole hospital safe fall to someone else? Maybe like, I don't know, the hospital president or the board? But no, apparently the head of surgery is the magical person who can handle a cyber attack just as well as they can handle a scalpel. And this isn't just a one-off thing. It's a classic plot hole, bad writing 101. You can't really think about it too much, or you'll end up asking way too many questions. It's also pretty obvious they couldn't possibly have a cast large enough to cover all the roles necessary to run a hospital. So they just throw surgery into the mix because, well, it's easier than giving us a whole extra set of characters. Makes sense, right? But here's the kicker. I work in the research area of a hospital, and every time they get the chief of surgery involved in grant approvals or clinical trials, as if they have any say over research funding, I'm just sitting there thinking, oh, nope. Nice try, but that's not how it works. Oh, Helm, where has she been? The last time we saw her was right after the whole heatwave/shooting drama, and now, nothing. I'm honestly scared they're going to just quietly write her off. If this is how it ends, it's just plain sad. They really did her dirty. The whole going after her boss for ages storyline, the fact that her one relationship ended before it even really started, I'm still bitter about the train wreck that was Helmika. And don't even get me started on how badly that was handled. I wanted to see her in navy scrubs. She's one of my favorites, and she definitely deserved better. Honestly, I almost forget Helm even exists sometimes. She's barely in the show or even mentioned, and it's frustrating. And don't even get me started on the budget cuts, because it's clear they're messing up character arcs and storylines for everyone. Her whole situation is a mystery. She's been around for so long, but it's like they just never gave her a proper storyline. I was so pumped when she finally got together with Mika, like, yes, it's happening. And now, poof, she's gone again. I really don't get it. She has so much potential. Why isn't she a main cast member by now? What's going on behind the scenes? Is the actress just not interested in being a series regular, or is there something else we don't know?